I always loved space, and for me it's sort of like, in a sense, like how you position yourself in a space and how you sort of like create a figure-ground relationship to the architecture that encapsulates that space. For me, doing site-specific work, the challenge was, what would I install in that space? The first piece that I did was in Europe. I look at the map, and on the map I realized that that region of Austria is exactly the 15-degree longitude line. So for me the challenge was, okay, how could I visualize this imaginary line through architectural interventions? So Anne-Marie Russell, the director at MoCA Tucson, invited me down for an artist residency to take a look at the space. And those are the photographs that I took a year ago. The hall is so big and so massive, and being intrigued by the landscape that surrounds Tucson, I thought it would be interesting to almost like showcase how this massive installation, it was maybe built before and then the building on top of it. This is sort of like built to the maximum scale. And what I usually do within the grid work, I build it large and then I just cut it down and shape it to size. This is a scale model for the exhibition in Beijing. I am working with a Chinese artist, Lin Yan. This is the space that was allocated to us. Basically, I'm referencing this wall in the center of the room, making a diagonal shift of that wall within the grid structure. They are stained with calligraphy ink. And then I cut into the grid structure, so you can actually walk between the wall and my installation. And it will be interesting because I'm very curious how people will navigate in that very narrow corridor and walk around it. And while the viewer walks around, the entire color palette shifts initially from red, yellow, to silver, blue, purple, and when you look up, it's green. Within the studio practice, you have certain steps where you can work yourself into a corner, and then you feel like, okay, sometimes you have to break your own rules, and the process allows you a certain development, and it happens because of the process. So this is the first kinetic sculpture I ever did, and to have it spin is sort of like easier for the observer to see the multitude of colors and on each side. Seeing it on its diagonal axis enhances the viewing aspect. It's a good balance between sort of like the sculptural work in the studio and that large scale site-specific installations to experiment with new materials or colors that can be then later implemented on a site-specific piece. Who am I as an artist? I'm a tinkerer. The references that really come to my studio practice, I derive actually from architecture. Architecture where I know not much about it, but I'm extremely curious about that.